That person who got the promotion you deserved. The ex who moved on while you're still stuck. The friend who betrayed you years ago. They're living rent-free in your head, aren't they? You tell yourself you've moved on. You tell yourself you don't care. But late at night, you replay those moments. You imagine what you should have said. You fantasize about their downfall. And while you're doing that, while you're marinating in that bitterness, they're sleeping peacefully. They've forgotten you exist. Your resentment isn't hurting them. It's poisoning you, drop by drop, day by day, until you become exactly what Nietzsche warned about. A person whose entire life is secretly organized around their bitterness. Nietzsche called it ressentiment, not just resentment. Ressentiment, a special kind of psychological poison that does something far worse than make you angry. It rewires your entire value system around your bitterness. It makes you define good as whatever hurts them and evil as whatever helps them. Your whole moral universe becomes a reaction to your wounds. Think about it. How many of your opinions are actually just reactions to people who hurt you? How many of your choices are designed to prove them wrong? How many of your successes are really just elaborate revenge fantasies? You think you're living your life, but you're living in response to theirs. You think you're free, but you're chained to your resentment. This is what most people don't understand about bitterness. It doesn't just make you unhappy, it makes you inauthentic. Every choice filtered through the lens of old wounds, every achievement poisoned by the need to prove something to someone who isn't even watching. Nietzsche saw this pattern everywhere, especially in what he called slave morality. The weak, unable to directly confront the strong, create an entire moral system that makes strength itself evil. They can't win, so they make winning immoral. They can't have power, so they make powerlessness virtuous. They can't get revenge, so they invent karma, divine justice, the idea that the universe will punish their enemies for them. But here's the devastating part. This isn't just about ancient slaves and masters. It's about you. Right now, every time you've been hurt and couldn't fight back, you did this. You told yourself you were being the bigger person. You convinced yourself that success is the best revenge. You created elaborate moral justifications for why you're actually superior to the person who hurt you. Your humility? Often just dressed up powerlessness. Your kindness? Sometimes just fear of confrontation. Your moral superiority? Frequently just ressentiment wearing a crown. You've turned your wounds into virtues and called it wisdom. Ressentiment does something even more insidious. It makes victimhood your identity. You become addicted to being wronged because it confirms your worldview. You seek out slights, you collect injustices, you interpret neutral events as attacks. Why? Because without your resentment, who would you be? This is why some people can't let go of their bitterness, even when offered genuine apologies, even when circumstances change, even when they could move on. Their ressentiment has become their personality. Their wounds have become their worth. They don't know how to exist without an enemy to define themselves against. You see this in people who've been divorced for years, but still talk about their ex constantly. In employees who left jobs decades ago, but still rage about former bosses. In adults who blame their parents for everything wrong in their lives. They're not holding grudges. The grudges are holding them. Nietzsche observed something profound about ressentiment. It destroys creativity. When all your energy goes into reaction, none is left for creation. When you're constantly responding to others, you can't originate anything yourself. When your values are just inversions of your enemy's values, you have no authentic vision. Think about your own creative blocks. How often are they really resentment blocks? You won't start that project because someone once criticized your work. You won't pursue that dream because someone said you couldn't. You won't express that part of yourself because someone once shamed it. Your creativity is trapped behind walls of old wounds. The bitter person creates nothing new. They only react, critique, tear down. They become professional victims, expert complainers, connoisseurs of grievance. They know everything wrong with the world but create nothing right. They're critics without creation, judges without justice, moralists without morality. Ressentiment is exhausting, not just emotionally, but physically. Your body doesn't know the difference between real threats and imagined ones. Every time you replay that betrayal, your body releases stress hormones. Every time you imagine telling them off, your fight or flight system activates. You're literally poisoning yourself with your own thoughts. This is why bitter people are always tired, why they're frequently sick, why they age faster. They're burning life force on phantoms, fighting battles that ended years ago, defending against attacks that aren't coming, living in a state of perpetual war with enemies who've moved on. And the energy you waste on ressentiment is energy you can't use for growth. Every moment spent resenting is a moment not spent creating. Every thought devoted to them is a thought not devoted to you. You're literally giving your life force to people you claim to hate. Here's the seductive lie of ressentiment. It feels like power. When you judge others, you feel superior. When you hold grudges, you feel in control. When you refuse to forgive, you feel strong. But it's false power. It's the power of the prisoner who refuses to leave his cell even when the door is open. Real power, Nietzsche understood, comes from creation, not reaction. From affirmation, not negation. From your own values, not the inversion of others. The truly powerful person doesn't need enemies to define themselves. They don't need to be against anything because they're too busy being for something. But ressentiment offers the illusion of power without the risk of creation. It's safer to critique than create, easier to judge than generate, less vulnerable to react than act. So people choose the false power of bitterness over the real power of authenticity. How do you break free from ressentiment? Not through forgiveness, at least not the way people usually mean it. Not through letting go or moving on or any other platitude. Nietzsche's answer is more radical. You break free by creating values that have nothing to do with your wounds. Stop defining yourself in opposition to others. Stop making your morality a reaction to their immorality. Stop organizing your life around proving them wrong. Instead, ask yourself, if they had never existed, what would I value? If I had never been hurt, what would I create? If I had no enemies, who would I be? This isn't about forgetting what happened. It's about refusing to let what happened define what happens next. It's about reclaiming your creative power from the graveyard of old resentments. It's about becoming someone whose values come from their own depths, not from their reactions to others. When you release ressentiment, something miraculous happens. You get your life back. Not the life you lost to those who hurt you, but the life you never lived because you were too busy resenting. The energy returns, the creativity flows, the authentic self emerges. You realize that your bitterness was never protecting you, it was imprisoning you. Your resentment wasn't making you strong, it was making you reactive. Your moral superiority wasn't elevating you, it was chaining you to the very people you claimed to be above. And suddenly, they become irrelevant. Not forgiven necessarily, not forgotten, just irrelevant. Because your life is no longer organized around them. Your values no longer depend on theirs. Your worth no longer requires their failure. You're free, not because they changed, but because you stopped letting them define you. Who are you still bitter toward? Not angry at. Anger passes. Bitter toward. Whose betrayal still shapes your choices? Whose success still bothers you? Whose opinion still matters even though you claim not to care? That's your ressentiment. That's your poison. And every day you carry it, it's killing you slowly. Not them. You. They've moved on. They're living their lives. while you're living in reaction to theirs. So here's the question Nietzsche would ask you. What would you create if you weren't so busy resenting? Who would you become if you weren't defined by who hurt you? What life would you live if you weren't living in response to theirs? Don't answer quickly. Sit with it, because your entire identity might be built on ressentiment. And discovering who you are without it, that's the real work. That's the real freedom. That's the real power. Comment below if you're ready to admit whose ghost you're still fighting. But more importantly, decide who you'll become when you stop. Because your real life is waiting on the other side of your bitterness. If this exposed your hidden poison, subscribe. Because philosophy isn't about feeling better, it's about seeing clearly. Even when what you see is your own ressentiment.